What's up, Kosciusko?
Hey, this is Rob Park with the Kosciusko Chamber of Commerce, and you're listening to In the Loop. With me today is
Julie Tuinstra.
And Andy Tuinstra.
And what do you guys do?
We are the owners of Boggs Automotive. So we have 3 locations. Our third one's opening up Monday. 2 of them are in Warsaw on Lake Street, and the pit stop is on Center Street. Our new location is in Syracuse on Huntington Street.
And it's right here. We are in Syracuse today. We're filming live from Syracuse inside your new shop here. So this is pretty awesome. But before we get into the business, let's go back in time. And I want to know your history. I want to know a little bit about each one of you. So Julie, why don't we start with you? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Warsaw.
Okay. And you went to Warsaw High School?
I did. I graduated in 99.
Okay.
And then I went to Grace College, and I was there for 4 years and got my Bachelor of Science in General Science.
In General Sciences. Okay.
I'm not from here. I grew up in Racine, Wisconsin.
So you're a cheesehead.
I am. Big Packer fan. Yep.
Doggone it, we got to go. I'm sorry. That's it for today.
I graduated in 98. Washington Park High School. I did go to tech school after high school, but it wasn't for me. I started working on cars when I was 18, and that was always my passion. So I did try to go to tech school, but it didn't work out.
So what brought you to, you're in Racine. What brought you down here to Indiana?
So my sister came down here to go to Grace College, and actually was actually a suite mate of my wife Julie.
Okay.
And one day my parents had to come down here to help her with a computer issue, and Julie was there. They were asking where they should go to get a computer, and she told them Coliseum in Fort Wayne, and they thought she had a cute Southern accent and wanted me to meet her. And then they came back home all excited. Oh, you got to meet this girl, that sweet mate of your sister. Well, so I think it was a couple of weeks later, I came down here and with my best friend and met her for the first time.
So that was the first time you'd come down, really?
Yeah.
You helped your sister move into Grace, but you weren't living down here.
No, I was not living down here. I was living up in Racine.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think we dated from October of 99 until February of 2000.
Oh, wait a second, though. Before we start dating, how did he ask you out? Or did he?
Oh, man, I don't even remember.
He came down and stayed in that hotel behind American Table. And I remember...
You're the one who stayed in the hotel.
Yeah.
I remember I got all dressed up. I can remember my outfit. I had like khaki pants on with this blue shirt, and I curled my hair. And the first time I met him, he was sitting in the hotel room playing video games with this like dingy white t-shirt with his best friend, just like gaming, and I thought, I don't know about this guy. Like, I don't know if it's going to work. But then...
What have I done?
We went to a Grace College soccer game, and it was pouring rain. Mm-hmm. And we sat on bath towels so we wouldn't get wet, but we got wet anyways. And then I didn't really think anything was going to come about from that, And then when it was time for fall break, I went to Wisconsin with his sister to his house, and he wasn't supposed to be there at that time. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, me and my best friend actually had a trip planned to go to Minnesota. And about the week before that, my dad lost his job. And so it was kind of stressful at the house, and I had a full-time job. So I said, I'm not going on a trip. I'm staying back to continue to work to help pay the bills. And so that's why I was there.
And something happened on the way up there, which they live about 45 minutes north of O'Hare.
Yep.
Well, I got car sick or something. So I get to their house. His mom's going to probably kill me for this, but they had this old cat, and the cat had gotten sick on the guest bed. So I show up to that, and then I ended up getting sick. And so the next morning, I kind of walk out because I didn't hear anybody, and he was sitting on the couch
Yeah, I was sitting there actually getting ready to go to work when she
So
came
then
out.
his mom set us up on another date, and we actually went to dinner. And the rest is kind of history, but we saw each other about every 2 weeks long distance. So from October to February. And in February, I don't know how his parents survived this either because we have a daughter who's almost 19, and he was like, "Hey, mom, and dad, I'm moving to Indiana." And we'd
Yeah.
only seen each other probably like maybe 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, they didn't really like that too much.
Talk to me afterwards. I got
Yeah.
a story for you. But I'm not going to air it here.
So yeah, that's how.
Yeah,
that's
and
how it
I
started.
just said I'm 19. I'm going.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So you
and
moved down.
yeah, I didn't take me long. She actually had a house. Her great grandparents had a house that was just so happened to open up to rent.
On one another
So-
week, so
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, so-
yeah, it was nice.
They gave me a good deal on it. So I had a house. So I had to find a job, and within I think 2 weeks I had a job in Columbia City. So
Yeah, starting out as a mechanic, it was
Yeah.
Michael Tire at the time.
Yep.
yeah, and it went pretty fast, and I came down. Haven't left since.
Haven't left since.
No.
Okay. Well, I can see why you wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
All right, so you've stayed here. You guys got married. How many? About
In May of 2005, so we're almost to our 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
years.
This year's 20.
really cool.
20
Got a couple
years.
kids.
Yeah, we have a daughter, Morgan. She's 18 and she's a freshman at Indiana Wesleyan. She's studying social work. And then our son, Max, is a junior at the high school, and he is in the automotive program. So
So you're married now. You don't have kids yet, right? So you're married, and where are you working now? You're married. Are you graduated from Grace? Mm-hmm. Where are you working?
So my dad was in the union at Depew, and after high school, they had a program for the employees. If their kids, they had kids working, like
Yep.
going to college or whatever, they could work there. So yeah, we did a co-op, and they let me stay through college. So when I graduated, then they hired me full time, and I was at Depew for 16 years as a scientist in sterilization microbiology.
Wow, very cool. 16 years of that. Mm-hmm. Andy?
Well, I was at when I got down here, I was at Michael Tire for I think it was like 10 months, and I think you were the one trying to push me go to Monteith here in Warsaw.
Yeah, because
you
you
know.
didn't like the drive. even
No,
though
the
it was-
drive was kind of
Sure.
getting to me, and
Okay,
so
good.
I went to Monteith, and Ray actually grabbed me right away, and said, I want to talk to you, and sat and talked, and offered me the job, and worked there. I was there for almost 6 years
as a brake mechanic.
as a brake mechanic, and it back then it was really rough making it as a mechanic. Financially, you didn't get paid a whole lot, and back then everybody was going to Zimmer, Depew. That was where you made money. Well, so then I ended up going to Depew or Zimmer as a temp and got hired on after about 2 years full time as a hand polisher. But I had to go to third shift, so I was on third shift for 6 years. I'll never do that again. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Third
mean,
shift's the roughest shift ever.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about your third shift and how hard that is on a family and what you guys went through with that. I mean, I can't imagine what that's like.
So after we were married, we got married in May. By October, I was pregnant with Morgan. And then Max came 20 months later. So we had 2 kids in diapers with a third shift husband. I worked full time. He was just never awake. Like, he would stay awake all Friday, right? And then
Yeah, it was Friday. The weekends were the rough ones.
you'd get off
Yeah.
at 6 in the morning on Friday, and you'd try to stay awake until like 6 p.m. on Friday night, and then have a normal day on Saturday. But then Sunday,
Oh, man.
you'd have to take a nap to kind of like adjust to going in at 10 o'clock that night. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had to kind of say something to him because he needed to start setting an alarm, because like he would get home at 6:30, go to bed right away, and then I never knew what time he was waking up, and we needed to have dinner and stuff like that. So we had to work out some of those things, but it was like he wasn't ever mentally 100% there. He was just chronically tired, and it was really, really rough with having little kids.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I hear stories all the time of third shift workers and how hard it is on families. And congratulations to both of you to work through that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a testimony to the two of you, and it
Yeah.
should be something that is inspirational and aspirational for people who have to go through that in a season of their lives. But it's pretty cool. All right, so no longer third shift. What'd you do after that?
So I was actually one of the lucky ones. So third shift, most of the people, they're on there for a long time. And I kind of got real lucky, and I was kind of handpicked to help a startup department, vitamin E poly department, and it was day shift. So I got to go on day shift. And I was actually on days there for 3 years, and that was when the merger was going on with Biomed and that,
Yep.
and they didn't know what they were going to do with the vitamin E poly, and they actually had a big displacement because we went from 4 of us that pretty much was starting it to we had I think we had 30 in that department now. Well, then they had a big displacement. Went by seniority. Well, I was the lowest guy,
Yep.
and I had to go back on the off shift.
So you had
And-
seconds for a while. I think.
Yeah, it was. That day was the hardest day because I told her I can't do thirds again. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I went. I chose to go to seconds, and it just so happened Tonya Boggs was in the same department, so I worked right next to her. The original owner of Boggs, her husband was the founder of it. We kind of clicked. I was kind of the only one that she really clicked with in that department. We talked a lot, and I told her my background, that I was a mechanic for years, and she asked me, "Have you ever thought of owning your own shop?" And I said, "Yeah, I did, but it's too hard to start up now." And she goes, "Well, my husband, he was diagnosed with cancer. Our sons, they don't want it. They're, I think one's a nurse, one's an engineer."
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I said, I'd love to, take it. And I was in there. I only actually left or stayed in that department for about 8 weeks. I actually was lucky again. I went into the office and got back to days as a robotic or a laser etch programmer. So I was an engineer tech. And so after that, I actually didn't really talk to Tonya anymore because she's in a totally different building. I'm on days, she's on seconds. So it just kind of fell through. I didn't think anything much of it. I was there as a programmer for about a year, and it was Christmas Day. What was this, 2016? Christmas Day, I think, when
It wasn't Christmas Day. We were in Wisconsin for your family Christmas, so it was.
yeah, that's right.
It was close to Christmas, and
And her son,
our son Tyler called. me.
Tyler called and
I
said,
just happened to know him from Depew. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it yet. Yeah, because we
So-
were coworkers. Yeah.
yeah, so he called and said, "Hey, you really interested in this? Dad's not going to last long, and we got to make a decision." And I said, we've talked before that, and I said, "Yeah, I really want to see
Yep.
this and see what this can happen." And Butch was his name. He passed the first.
I think it was
the
New Year's Day
New
or
Year's
something
Day,
like that, yeah.
he passed, and by end of February, everything was transferred to us. So we took it over the 2017, February 2017. We took over.
And that was the one out in the Boggs subdivision, yes?
Yeah,
That
on-
was
yeah.
location, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
at
on
that
Lighter
time, was that
Drive.
about it? That was the only one.
That was
right?
it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had one employee, Eldon Long, and
Yeah.
he worked for us.
He kept it running while
The
Butch
transition.
had to leave, and
Yep.
so it was just me and Eldon, basically, and we worked, and he helped me grow this thing. We went from that one guy at a small lease location to our big shop now. We bought our big shop, it has 13 bays in it. We leased the pit stop location, and this new location we bought. So we also own this too. So we went from 1 employee to, I think we got 18 or 19 employees now. And
You guys do amazing work. It's incredible
Yeah.
to see the growth. When you went from that first step of leaving the known and stepping out into the unknown, how did that make you feel? And were you still at Depew at the time? Or
Yes, I was still at Depew at the time. The Boggs family was really helpful because we'd always heard it was really hard to get a business loan for small business. And they linked us up with Josh Gordon and John Warren at the time at Old National. It was basically like a decent car payment for 5 years. So that was the kind of loan that we did. And I'm not a business person by nature. I'm too soft, I would say. Like I care too much about people, like so I'll never be one that wants to take your money. And it's always the worst to me when it's people that and you have to tell them bad news about their cars.
Sure, that's tough.
Hey, you need $3,000 for it to be safe.
Yep.
So the other part of that is I had to figure out the bookwork because I was going to be doing that part. And it's been a little bumpy. It's not easy, especially when you don't have an accounting mind at all. Like he'll make fun of me for my math.
yeah, but then she's
We
controlling all
never
the
do
math.
that at all in my office. Never.
It's wild.
So you made that, but man, have you made it work, right? I mean, I know it's bumpy, but look where you've grown from, and you're no longer at Depew, correct? Or
Correct.
so when did you make that decision?
In 2015, I took a remote position when remote wasn't like
Right.
totally known.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work for a consulting laboratory. It's one of the biggest contract laboratories in the U.S. It's called NAMSA. They have a consulting sector out of Minneapolis, which is where I'm based out of, but I work from home. And then we have a lab in Irvine, California, and one in Northwood, Ohio. So basically, we take medical device companies will come to us and need validations done for cleaning and sterilization to get their products approved by the FDA. So I write the protocols, organize the testing with the laboratories, and then complete the final reports. So it's basically what I did at Depew, only now it's a bigger variety because you have
Yeah.
all different types of medical
All
device
over.
companies from all over. So
Yeah. So when did you leave that known and step into, or are you still doing that on the side?
I'm still.
So
she's
you're doing
still-
that on the side,
Yeah.
plus being the office manager,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
Look at you, superstar. That's amazing. That's incredible.
Well, we don't cook very often.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Gotten really bad lately. We eat out a lot. So
Well, when do you have time to cook? Everything going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do with this location here in Syracuse? What's the vision up here?
So we always strive to do everything. We don't want to turn anything down. We always, if we can do it, we're going to do it. So we do everything from tires to. I don't think we're going to be able to do full motor swaps here, but we have the capability of getting the cars to Warsaw to be able to do full motor swaps. But we can do almost anything: diag work, AC work, timing jobs, tires, brakes, suspension, alignments. There's very little stuff that we can't do.
And that includes any type of car, like even
Yeah,
if
any
it's a
car.
foreign car.
Yeah.
The only time we get into things with that is like a computer issue we wouldn't be able to do, but
And that's only really on foreign cars because we actually invested about a year ago in computer system because now everything is now programming. You got to program
Right.
everything to the
Everything,
car.
yep.
So we had to invest a lot of money in a system to be able to program stuff. So we have the capability, just like any dealership out there, to be able to program ECM, BCMs, parts to the cars. We can do pretty much anything.
So that's really cool. So again, let's tell everybody where are your locations. How can they get a hold of you? How can they find you? How can they learn more about Boggs Automotive?
So in Warsaw, we're 1531 West Lake Street is our big location. The phone number for them is 574-268-6360. The pit stop, that is our maintenance center, but they do tires, batteries, oil changes. They'll even do some brake work. They're on 1721 East Lake Street.
East Center Street.
East Center Street, sorry. Phone number is 574-269-6123. And then Syracuse, our new one, opening Monday. We are 501 South Huntington Street. You can't miss us, right on 13, right downtown. Our number here is 574-337-7289.
As you were saying all that, there was one more thing I forgot to talk about. You're not just a mechanic and an owner.
No,
What else are
no.
you?
I'm actually the Warsaw High School automotive teacher. I teach in the mornings. They want me to do all day. They've been trying to push me to do all day. I can't do it. I'm too busy. But I do teach in the morning, teach principles of automotive. And I have 18 students right now in this year's class.
It's amazing. So look at the both of you branching out, doing other things than you ever thought you would do, right? You
Right.
never thought you'd do this. Teaching, was that in your...
Oh, no. If you told me I was doing this years ago, I'd laugh in your face. No.
No way.
No.
So it's a really cool story. I appreciate you guys sitting down with me, sharing, the hard times, the great times, and the future looks really bright for the both of you. So
Thank you. We
thank you so
appreciate you
much.
too.
Yeah, you've been listening to In the Loop, and we'll catch you on the other side. Take care.